For our capstone field project, we chose to utilize the Savannah College of Art and Design, which is located in downtown Savannah. It is a upscale art school that is world-renowned, and people from all different countries come, and it is very prestigious to be a part of. So, we are practicing in the realm of the Career and Alumni Success Department, which is called the CAS department, which focuses on getting careers for students. And the mission statement of SCAD includes preparing students to attain active employment. And so this department is directly associated with that mission statement. So this office aims to provide career-related services to current and graduated SCAD students free of charge. Just along with other different services that the university provides, these are free of charge. Well, they're included in the tuition rate. So other department might be the counseling department as well. So in the CAS office, they have major specific advisors that help you with resume building and accessing different opportunities on campus to build your resume and to help you develop yourself as a potential employee. There are different events, there's different workshops, and these advisors help you access those. So the employee relationships are a really huge part of this department because the university has about 150 different employers that come to the university at different times throughout the year to conduct different interviews and different seminars, and it's an opportunity for students to meet with these potential employers, to build a relationship with them, and to leave their mark in the instance that they get to see them in person. The MySCAD job portal is also a huge component of the CAS department. It is utilized as a student resource that organizes all of your career-related items. So you would upload a draft of your resume, and a career advisor would then be able to access the resume, critique it, edit it, give you feedback, and then once you have revised your resume and put it back onto the website, then you are eligible to start applying for jobs through the job portal, and it is a great reference, and it'll allow you to access the events and the workshops and the employer visits, as well as give you an opportunity to look for other jobs as well. So once again, these workshops and forums are really, really critical to the student's ability to succeed at SCAD, because they're great opportunities to outreach and build a connection with potential employers. In addition, they also have workshops that are very specific to different aspects of the career exploration process, including resume building or interview skills or the concept of leave behinds. So there's different forums and workshops for different specific ideas that are offered. So in the department there is a gap, and through a SWOT analysis via interview and questionnaire, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats have been highlighted by Brooke Serrano, who is the head of the department within the services of serving people with disabilities. So she's one of a kind, and she's the only person that does what she does. And she is not a major specific advisor, rather she is a disability specific advisor. So she'll see anybody who is involved with the counseling department as well. So in the interview, Brooke has said that there's a great deal of multitasking by the career advisors without a base foundation of knowledge from students in correspondence to career services, specifically for students with disabilities. So in order to address this gap, we created a program addendum, which is the program design. So in the problem in the department is that the student and advisor relationship is not operating at its fullest potential because the students don't have a foundational understanding of the CAS department and what it has to offer, especially with the students with disabilities. So there's a need of an educational outreach that adequately prepares students to utilize the department to their fullest advantage in the career exploration process. So there's a need to provide foundational information to students with specific focus on those students who have disabilities. A little stats, a couple statistics for you guys, just to understand the realm of people with disabilities. The community is vast, and it oftentimes has different obstacles that need to be overcome in order to lead and live a quote-unquote successful life. So let me start with that 1 in 5 people have a disability, which means nearly 60 million people. So this is a huge community that needs assistance. And another important note is that 52% of non-working adults with disabilities feel discouraged from looking for work because they perceive that no appropriate jobs are available. So this means that a lot of folks who have disabilities are either underemployed and working jobs that they're overqualified for, or they're unemployed flat out. So the disabled community has more than twice the risk of being unemployed or being underemployed or unemployed, having an unemployment rate of 10.4% versus 4.7% for a non-disabled counterpart. A person with a disability is likely to earn 71% of the average monthly income for people in the U.S. So as a comparison, that's $1,961 versus $2,724. So there are a few available resources currently that are help people with disabilities. A couple of them are in-house and a couple out. So outside of SCAD, there is a program within the federal government called the Workforce Recruitment Program. And what this is an outreach for people with disabilities, and it is connecting talented students with opportunities within the federal government. So the application process for federal jobs is very lengthy, and this program bypasses that entire process. To be eligible for the program, you have to have you have to be enrolled in a university, and you have to have a diagnosable disability, or a documented disability, excuse me. And so if you meet these eligibility requirements, then you can apply for the program, and you have to submit some information, of course, and after that you are eligible for an in-phone or on-the-phone interview with a WRP recruiter. If you pass the interview with a score of 3 out of 5 based on different criteria of communication skills, written skills, and different credentials that you have, then they place you into a national database. This database is accessible by employers at a particular time, and at that moment the employers have then an opportunity to outreach to the students if they're interested in employing them. So it kind of bypasses the traditional career exploration process where the employee or the person is looking for employment. Rather, the employment position is looking for people to fill them, and they access this database with students who have disabilities. The AskJan.org website is a very good resource for employers who are not familiar with different disabilities. So there are different, it's basically an accommodation explanation and different expectations for the employer to have during the employment of a person with disabilities. So it'll run down the different expectations to have, different applicable accommodations, and how to interact with different people with different disabilities. So in-house, the SCAD Counseling and Student Support Services Department has different resources available for students with disabilities as well. One of these is called the Jumpstart Group. Jumpstart is a program that has just been implemented within the past few years, and it gives an opportunity for parents and students with students with disabilities and their parents to come to SCAD ahead of time and orient themselves with the culture and the locations of buildings and what to expect, in addition to giving them information about all the different resources in the community that will help the students succeed at SCAD. So it's a very good program to be involved in, and you are a part of it until you graduate. So the cohort, the Jumpstart group has about 80 students in it currently, and it has doubled this year from last year's 40 students. So it's growing rapidly, which is great because it offers a bunch of supplemental support within from peers. And so the counseling department offers a group therapy group on Fridays for the Jumpstart students. And in this group, it is facilitated by students for students, and it's basically a supplemental support group that talks about different stressors, different life events, and it's a good opportunity for people to socialize and connect with others who have a commonality. It's really beneficial for people to also have an opportunity for collaborations on projects at SCAD. Since it's an art school, a lot of the times you need other artists to help you and collaborate on a project to finalize it. So this is a great opportunity for students to gain friends and get connections for those projects. So there's an existing career coaching group, which is the group that we are focusing on to amend and change for the better. And this is what the program design will go over. So the career coaching group currently is very limited, and it basically goes over what kind of accommodations are appropriate and what your disclosure process will be. So disclosure is the event of the individual telling an employer that they have a disability. So when is that appropriate? And this is the type of information that they'll talk about. But there are program gaps because that's not everything that they need or people with disabilities need. So it just needs some areas of improvement, and that's what our focus of the Capstone Project will be, is to enhance the current and existing program.
Okay, so our new career coaching group will include these group topics. Basically, we'll have sessions put together for these students, the first being resume building, helping them just basically understand what to put on their resume. We'll also have the MySCAD job portal, which Julian already spoke about, and then just teaching them when and how to disclose with their employer about their disability. We'll also teach them how to use social networking tools such as LinkedIn, just as a basic way to get their foot in the door on certain job opportunities. Since most of the job searching is now primarily done online, it would be something really good for them to learn. Also, just teaching them basic communication skills. Since these are individuals with disabilities, some of them might not be aware of certain social skills, so just teaching them how to conduct themselves in an interview process, shaking the hand, saying thank you, the basic things that would be needed in the interview process we would be teaching them at that point. In the job searching class, basically we would just be showing them different online resources for getting a job, which would be also helpful in helping them to advance toward getting a job. We'll also have sessions where we teach them about self-advocating. This is basically just letting them know what to do to talk to their employer about whatever they might need in order to be effective in the workplace. Not that it would hinder their work in any way, but just that they might need certain accommodations. So just helping them to be confident in advocating for themselves in that way. And then dealing with automatic thoughts and self-image, basically using CBT to rid of any negative thought processes that might be in relation to searching for a job. So we want them to have positive thoughts in regard to that. And then the other one will just be a community service group where they're actually active in the community. The expectations for group members will differ based on academic year. So freshmen and sophomores will be held to different standards than their junior and senior counterparts. Each group of students is at a different stage of their career exploration process. So the expectations of having rough drafts or final copies are respective. So basically these groups will meet every Friday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and one of those Fridays will actually be the community service, and the time will vary for that. So our target population and survey area is the SCAD students. Obviously, they're students ranging from 18 to 24 because they are college students. And this is all encompassing for genders. It's in Savannah, Georgia. And our target program is the Jump Start program at SCAD. There's about 80 participants in that program, so we're estimating hopefully around 30 to 50 participants in this program. So there are some potential so there are some potential problems in the plan. So basically, what we did was we came up with a couple of ideas to combat those problems. So the problems that we came up with are just lack of participation, time management, and stress, mainly because of finals and other things that may arise just because of normal college life, and faculty absence. So the contingency plan we put together is just advertising, promoting incentives like the gift cards, SCAD Connect / Skype. So basically giving them an opportunity to connect with other students, to help with their project or to collaborate on projects and stuff like that, and just scheduling backup personnel to combat faculty absence. So our evidence-based program model, basically the cognitive information processing approach emphasizes metacognitions, self-knowledge, occupations knowledge, and the use of a decision-making cycle to improve career decision states and to decrease the negative career thinking. Research shows that variables correlate with career indecision that are specifically alleviated by CBT, such as dysfunctional thinking and also anxiety and depression and poor problem-solving skills. In relation to didactic-based adult group, benefits of using a group for adults have shown that universality is one of the results of that. There's an enormous relief often accompanied by the recognition that they're not alone, and this is a special benefit just of having them be a part of group therapy. And then philanthropy, it's the idea that there's a therapeutic component to volunteering and helping other people. So when these individuals do participate and volunteer or become a part of a direct social action, they become more emotionally and socially fulfilled. So in some cases, their mental, behavioral, and even physical health will improve.
So luckily we already have a pretty cool resource, and that is the Jump Start program, which is already in place. So we will be advertising there to try to get participants for the new program. So some incentives that we have to retain participation and to advertise for participation are food, fun, some hangout time for people that are like themselves, other people that have the same struggles. So that can be a positive. We also have community service, which is therapeutic through philanthropy. We have resume building, which is a great plus for somebody who wants to get up and get out in career search and get a good career. So Then we also have practical experience and transferable skills. This is going to be a big part of the program when it comes to community service. So our community service activities are actually pretty tied into what the students want to do for a living. We're trying to keep it tied to art in advertising with NAMI. That'll be on the next slide, etc. So, and finally, we'll have collaborative organization gift cards, and we will obtain these by going into the organization and asking them to participate in some community service for themselves and for their community, which is Savannah. So we'll, for Panera, we were thinking about, just going in, talking to the manager, and asking them if they would like to contribute to the community. And this is basically contributing to the community, as the food that's going to feed the kids is going to help them, fuel them to further serve the community. So here is a list of some of the incentives, collaborations, and stakeholders involved in our program. Some of the incentives include bus cards, Panera Food, the District Cafe, Leopold's, Target, the Flying Monk Noodle Bar. So we would get resources from these organizations by talking to them and contributing to the students or the organization, the new program that we're creating. Some of the collaborations that we want to make are NAMI. So they need help with some of their advertisement when it comes to some of their groups. NAMI is a pretty cool organization. It's actually focused around mental health, and their groups are actually peer-led. So it can be a great opportunity, I think, for the students to get to know somebody who's out there and self-advocating with a mental illness. So they would be creating brochures for some of these groups that need advocation for, like a obsessive compulsive disorder support group, etc. So, and then Hug Savannah, we were thinking we could talk to them about possibly putting up some art there. They actually do showings of art within their organization. They currently have a photographer up there and his work up there, and a sketch artist too. We were also thinking that if they needed help to paint some murals with their building, we could help with that as well. And of course, some of the stakeholders would become students through their community service, faculty who would be helping the community as well, interns from whatever organizations that come into SCAD to intern would become stakeholders in the program and also in the community. Finally, the city of Savannah would be a community full of community stakeholders that are interested in their community, and a community that is a community. So that would be an emphasis on unity. Some goals and objectives for the career coaching group. We want to promote self-promotion, career research, professional readiness, portfolio, and employment. So some of the ways we want to do self-promotion would be bringing in leave-behinds. Some of the students create CD-ROMs with their art on there, resumes, very fancy business cards. They'll also be doing some career research and going to career fairs, researching companies that they want to work for, or jobs that they want to do. Another would be professional readiness. They would be attending mock interviews, and workshops regarding how to get our names up and out when it comes to becoming employed after college. Another one is portfolio, and this is kind of a more tangible copy of the students' work that they've compiled while being in SCAD. And finally, we'll have employment by using different facets of getting a career by websites, the HireWire, job portal, etc. Students will gain employment through going through this program. Finally, we have the logic model for the program. So some of the resources and inputs that we have listed here are the interns, faculty, therapists, incentives, HUGS collaboration, NAMI collaboration, program advertising, career coaching group, course lectures, etc., Jumpstart donation or Jumpstart group, and donations from the community. We also have activities and outputs listed. So some of the outcomes that we want to have are for the students to become a better stakeholder, and also for members of the community to be able to become better stakeholders. We also want to increase practice behaviors regarding professionalism and ways to get employment. Finally, we want to increase preparedness, self-efficacy related to getting a job or getting employed. And finally, communicating their pitch, so selling themselves. Last but not least, we have the impact. So we want to make an impact with community service, decreasing disparity of joblessness among people with disabilities. This will be a special place for SCAD. So this will mostly be targeting students with disabilities in the school SCAD. Finally, we want to meet career coaching goals at the 5-year point, and for the students to complete all of the goals in the program and subsequently graduate. Last but not least, again, are the references.